Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with the Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We've got a decently sized haul this week, so let's get started. We're actually going to kick off with one of last week's free comic book day books, since I didn't cover those on last week's roundup. Going along with the theme of this particular video, we'll be looking at Free Comic Book Day, Uncanny Avengers. We won't really be looking at the preview for Jonathan Hickman's Gods that's included with this, but namely just the Uncanny Avengers part. So, there's a few things that happen, and this seemingly happens during the Hellfire Gala, which will be releasing as a one-shot next month. An Orcus agent breaks into the treehouse, infects it with something, some other debilitating to the treehouse itself, and steals the Captain Krakoa suit. But Cyclops comes upon him, and once the guy puts on the Captain Krakoa suit, he hands Cyclops his ass and then chucks him out of the treehouse, seemingly to his death, just before the treehouse blows up. It should be noted that during the gala, Mystique and Destiny realizes something's happening and tells Mystique, though Rogue is, and asks where Rogue is, as apparently Rogue is flown off at Mach 3. Then in the Capitol, like at the U.S. Capitol building, members of Congress are speaking with Representative Orcus, who is suggesting that the U.S. government align itself with Orcus. But Captain Krakoa walks in and blows the place up with a couple of hand grenades. In Brooklyn, Steve Rogers hears the news and calls out on the Avengers emergency frequency, asking what's happening at the Capitol, stating that he's heading for a jet, and asking if anyone's inbound yet. But he notices that his motorcycle is off balance and pulling to the left. There's a bomb that's been attached to it, so he manages to jump off shortly before it explodes, landing in, landing in the river, and, a bunch of Orcus troops are waiting underwater for him. He fights them off, though one of them does stab him in the arm, but Rogue uses, having borrowed Polaris's magnetic abilities, pulls him out of the river, as well as the Orcus operatives, but they set off an explosive, so Rogue drops them. Elsewhere, the mother of Deadpool's daughter, Emily Preston, is paid a visit by Orcus, as well as two Stark Sentinels as well. She has a young mutant living under her roof. And like I said, the rest is a preview of Gods by Jonathan Hickman and Valerio Schiti. I believe it's Schiti. The preview does focus on Doctor Strange. So, solid. I guess I really do like when the fact that at least the big two, when it comes to Free Comic Book Day, yes, you'll get little collected short stories to push new things that are coming out. You'll also get you'll get kind of setups for some of the things that are going to be happening in the coming months for their lines, such as Uncanny Avengers. We've also got a Spider-Man and Venom one we'll be looking at later. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Wolverine number 33. Where we left off, Beast's Weapons of X program was seemingly going was seemingly going as it was supposed to. It attacked the Beast attacked the Merc submarine with some of his Wolverine clones, but Maverick subdued one of the clones and took it prisoner. And so Beast realizes that that not all the Wolverines sent are accounted for, so he sends a Beast as well as some additional Wolverines to investigate and find the missing Wolverine clone. They get aboard Merc submarine and Maverick activates the self-destruct. There's a Weapons of X bit of text surveillance from the mobile lab with Beast noting that out of abundance of caution, he's placed singing stones throughout the mobile lab in order to monitor the Beast clones for fear of insurrection. Yeah, they're plotting. On Krakoa, Jeff Bannister wakes up, sees his daughter's fine. Apparently, she's kind of mad at her dad for lying to her and lying to Logan, who, as far as she can tell, is Bannister's only friend. But so Bannister asks Black Tom, who has befriended little Maddie, where Wolverine is, and well, basically saying, hey, tells him, hey, yeah, he's going after Beast. Off the coast of Greenland, Maverick brings the Wolverine clone to a safe house, but the actual Wolverine finds him. They discuss what to do, and yeah. Yep, they have a plan. Beast goes after a shipment of medicines in the English Channel, insulin and chemotherapy drugs, blowing up the boat. The other beasts also point out that, first off, Beast Prime has made all of his clones nearsighted. Like, actually nearsighted. They all wear glasses. Bannister talks with Dolores Ramirez about getting his position back at the X desk. And Beast Prime calls forth a handful of the Beast clones to have them killed by some of his Wolverine clones. Bannister's leading a team to try and stop Beast. The team notes Wolverine. Sees what appears to be Wolverine in a speedboat with Maverick. Bannister, I would assume out of an abundance of caution, knowing that Beast is smart, so there's a possibility to throw Beast off, or throw others off. Maybe he did put one of the Wolverine clones in Wolverine's brown and orange costume. And so the A story ends with Bannister basically saying, target the boat and blow it out of the water. We also have a backup story featuring Wolverine teaming up with Sister Dagger, who is the younger sister of Shang-Chi. Plant monsters are loose in France, and Sister Dagger is doing what she can to fight them off. Wolverine comes with an assist, and they find a person inside. And so, over drinks at a Paris cafe, Logan and Sister Dagger discuss, you know, what wait for information from Sage. It seems that the samples that Sage got of the plant monster contain traces of Xeno's manslaughter serum. But just because Xeno's been taken down doesn't mean that their creations were taken down as well. But they found a garden, and so Wolverine and Sister Dagger leap in to take care of the garden that's growing these creatures. And that is where the issue ends. The Weapons of X storyline is definitely getting good. And I like the backup. It appears we're actually getting a few backup stories in Marvel books this month. I think it's... I'm guessing that it focuses on Asian and Pacific Islander characters. There's one in Daredevil as well that focuses on Iron Fist. So, moving on though to our next book, we've got X-Men Red, number 11. So it's been 3 months since our last issue of X-Men Red. Sins of Sinister happened. Storm was the only member of the Quiet Council that was not affected by Sinister's machinations. That said, on Mars, or Arakko, Craig Marshall, who rescued a couple of orphan children during Uranos' attack on Arakko during Judgment Day, is supposed to be meeting Storm for dinner. They talk, a little bit of flirting. Storm asks how the children are doing, and one of them, Cobb, won't talk but smiles. And Lulo is doing well. The Argyre community that took them in have encouraged Lulo to talk through it, and it's helped her. Storm writes that's Fisher's way. You can't heal if you don't say the pain out aloud. Their dinner is interrupted, however, by Storm, by Xavier getting in touch with Storm and wanting to speak with her. It turns out that Craig has previously had dinner at the White House, and apparently this is probably when it comes to eating with a head of state, this is quite the occasion for him. Elsewhere, Sunspot, Nova, and one of the Iraqi are basically soaking a hot tub. It's pointed out, it's notable that Nova is still wearing his helmet, though he explains somewhat that he basically needs to have tactile contact with at least part of the uniform at all times. Some jokes were made about Sunspot and Nova's past with teams of younger heroes. Sunspot and the New Mutants, Nova and the New Warriors. But something happens at the external gate, and so Nova and Sunspot go to investigate. On Krakoa, Storm comes to speak with Charles. He's wanting to know about Magneto. There's some arguing. With, in fact, Storm saying, hey, look, fine, you scan my surface thoughts. I know you can. And just, yeah, her surface thoughts concerning Xavier are not exactly flattering to Xavier. But, and she's also able to repel him as he taught all the X-Men. But he has it, he tells her he's afraid. Because he's wondering how long was Sinister manipulating, adding that him and Magneto went to see Sinister long ago, and basically making Sinister a part of what was to be Krakoa. Adding that if the mutant Eden has a serpent, it wears a diamond on its head, or a club, or a spade, or a heart. Either way. But it's kind of just the events of Sins of Sinister have left Xavier a little shaken, especially knowing what he's done, or what he did in that reality. But Storm states that Storm does tell Xavier Magneto's last words. He wanted her to watch him, not because Magneto thought that Xavier might be Sinister, but because Xavier might be Xavier. Of the three who share the dream of Krakoa, he's the last, and rather than allowing his dream to pass to other hands, he's trying to bear its weight alone, even though it's crushing him. And Storm states that she thinks that a measure of concern lay at the root of Magneto's request. He was, after all, Xavier's friend, but after this day, Storm was not. And basically tells him not to take the gate to Arakko again. Back on Arakko, Nova and Sunspot are investigating what's going on at the external gate, and someone comes through from Otherworld, which is where the external gate leads, stating that the White Sword has fallen, and this person brings the White Sword's blade, Purity, as proof of his last words. Tell them all, Genesis is coming. And the new arrival is revealed to be none other than John Ironfire, whom we met during Sins of Sinister. And that is where the issue ends. We've already gotten kind of a taste that, yeah, Genesis and Apocalypse will be returning. I guess that doesn't start up until next month or later. We'll see. But, yeah, solid issue as always. X-Men Red is consistently one of the best X-Men books that Marvel's putting out. So, yeah, I would even go as far as one of the best books Marvel's putting out, period. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Rogue and Gambit number 3. Where we left off, while investigating some kidnapped superhumans, mainly looking for Manifold, Rogue and Gambit's investigation ended up leading them to Forge. So in New York, Destiny is unsure if things are going to work out, but knows that that things working out does hinge upon Rogue and Gambit succeeding in the task she's given them. At the treehouse, Rogue explains to to Forge that she knows about the suit he made out of Mystique and Caliban's DNA. Also Tempo's. Apparently this was 5 months previously. But we get his lab notes from 5 months ago. Even though he apologized to Caliban and Caliban accepted the apology, Well, Forge is having second thoughts, and briefly thinks about maybe seeing what Hank's doing or going for a drink. He opts for the latter. There's a brief flashback to Gambit's early tenure on the X-Men. Apparently, Rogue went all out with her powers, and in fact, even managed to hurt Wolverine. Gambit goes to find her in New Orleans. Basically says that, he's the kind of man who won't leave even when it hurts, after kissing her. And this was before she had any means of truly controlling it. So, that kiss, for example, did hurt her. But, some explosives that Forge is working on are triggered and go off. Forge tells Rogue and Gambit to get out of the lab. However, Gambit points out that his thieving skills came in handy, adding that whenever Forge mentioned a suit, he looked right at a drawer on the side of his workbench, adding that while Forge may be brilliant with technology, man should never play cards. And Gambit realized he's caused quite a few explosions, more than normal, so that, maybe Rogue should handle this mission on her own. There's a text conversation between Rogue and Rocket with Rocket suggesting that Rogue saying that Gambit's distant and she thinks he's hiding things from her, keeping things from her. Rocket just maybe another girl, but it's like, no, it's not like that. But she adds that he's not communicating. The Rocket says he's not communicating, or you're not communicating. And it takes two, and asking if she's talked to him. And he goes on to add that if she thinks he's keeping things from her, then she'll start keeping things from him, and it's going to get ugly or uglier. And he wants to talk to him, but yeah. So back in Nevada, she manages to find where find where Manifold's being kept, and Manifold himself, but his captors unleash some of their other captives on her. Vanisher, Juggernaut, Absorbing Man, and Lady Deathstrike. Oh, and Electro. Managing to get close enough to the Vanisher, she pulls his control tech off. However, it turns out that the control devices are implanted directly into the central nervous system. So if the device is removed, they die. And that is where the issue ends. Things are definitely getting interesting here. Presumably, yes, Rogue and Gambit will likely work out their issues by the end of the series, which will be good. It's sad that we haven't gotten to see them together in title for a while, aside from their miniseries. Moving on, though, to our last book for the moment, we've got Darth Vader number 34. Where we left off, there was a force wave that was affecting all force users, and in fact made it so Vader couldn't control his force abilities. He had ripped a hole in the Executor. Salve basically had him shot out of space, but then grabbed the shuttle and saved him. However, his lack of control continued, leading to the ship crashing. And definitely laying the the groundwork for the possibility that Sabe is force sensitive. But he basically gives her which is it? Is hate lead to suffering or power? And Sabe has a vision of her and the other handmaidens on Naboo, stating that Padme's dream has come to pass. Peace throughout the galaxy. The people don't always agree. Someone made them agree. Sabe, Imperial Commander Sabe. We see her, of course, taking down the remnants of the Techno Union and those other groups, the rebels. She sees Luke, but in her vision, Padme is once again struck down by Vader. But she says she can't. How can she make a choice about what hate leads to if she refuses to hate? And so Vader sends Sabe into the ocean. Brings forth an Imperial, the ship they crashed in. But a small group of rebels goes after him. He uses the remains of the crashed ship as a shield, and then slices their ship in half, and presumably kills the ship full of rebels. There's about 5 on there. Yeah, that is where the issue ends. Well, much of the Sabe story is interesting. It does in some ways feel like the Darth Vader book is I don't want to necessarily say that most definitely just spinning its wheels to get to the point of Vader being summoned to the second Death Star, but it kind of does feel that way. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I'm currently running a giveaway for a collector booster box of the Magic the Gathering March of the Machine set. A link to the launch video for that giveaway will be in the description below, as will the links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal. As always, this is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.